With the continued expansion of the Internet of Things, or what is often referred to as IoT, we must be aware of its associated cyber risk. And today, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about some of the associated risk as well as a solution to help fix that problem within our environment. So anytime we expand our security boundary, like cloud and certainly IoT, we have to understand all of the potential risks. Now, I'm not advocating the avoidance of cloud or IoT within your environments, although we should probably go into the architecture with both eyes wide open. To really start this conversation, the core element of designing an effective cybersecurity strategy is founded on a set of consistent security standards that are inherited to support specific business or organizational outcomes. Typically, security standards are grouped are grouped to provide security policies. The NIST cyber standards. Now, I just mentioned NIST, but it could be ISO or SANS or any cyber standard. The grouping of those standards into, for example, from NIST into the risk management framework, RMF, the cybersecurity framework, DFARS, FedRAMP, and many others are great examples of a security policy. When we use a consistent set of security standards, whatever those are, NIST, ISO, SANS, and we inherit those standards to individual policies, we have to, of course, provide flexibility to the implementation of that cybersecurity standard within the policies, but we'll find an excellent foundation for our cybersecurity strategy. Remember, we want to have consistency in the standards that we are adhering to. We want to have flexibility in the implementation of those standards, and we want to be able to inherit those security standards to impact multiple business outcomes. So with this understanding, what is the impact of cloud, mobility, or IoT technologies? All three of these technologies and others we're not mentioning today tend to extend what we call our security boundary. Security policy and security standards, of course, include hardware, software, operating systems, process, human capital required to execute a business or organizational outcome. For example, an organization typically will have a security policy for email, internal file sharing, external file sharing, online applications, and many other applications. As we develop our security policy, we naturally define our security boundaries. For many organizations, that security boundary extends to the inside ports of the firewall and includes everything else within the environment. As we adopt IoT, that security boundary is extended. For many organizations, the implementation of IoT solutions within an isolated or a segmented part of their network seems to be good enough. The IoT devices report into a gateway. Hence, the perception is that the gateway itself provides adequate security to protect an organization's other information technology assets from the risk that's found within that IoT environment. Look, I'm not implying that IoT gateways lack security, although the gateway now becomes a critical part of our security boundary, and too many organizations excuse or simply accept the risk potential that could be within that IoT gateway. When incorporating any technology that extends the security boundary, we must root ourselves actively within security standards and policies to accurately visualize potential risk to our environment. The sophistication of IoT devices will continue to increase as the popularity of the technology increases within our society. We've seen this trend time and time again with new technology adoption. When thinking about the introduction of mobile technologies, for example, the days of the pager or even the BlackBerry when it wasn't a smartphone presented a manageable risk to our environment. Although, as society began to adopt mobile technology to the state, of course, we are in as of 2018, the threat to our environment increased exponentially as these devices become smarter and more capable. The solution to this problem: establish a cyber strategy that incorporates cyber standards and policies. You will never really understand your cyber health without first developing a cyber plan. And as new technologies continue to add functionality with a solid cyber strategy, we can quickly ascertain and mitigate that risk. For more information on this topic and others, feel free to text me. Text Jeff Lush, one word, at 44222.